All right, we are back. We are live. Once again, we are doing it with two of the three amigos. This is Zachary Brandold's scheduled vacation. It's not really a vacation, but we're going to call it that. But I am here tonight joined by my co-host, Aaron Simmons. I am back. Had to take some time off last week. Was out of town for that pesky thing called a job. But I am back tonight, ready to talk racing. Happy to be joined by Aaron Simmons. Aaron, how are you tonight?
Very tired. This week's been kind of stressful with the job, and had a lot of things come up today, and a lot of things are going to come up tomorrow. So hopefully, I'll be able to sleep good tonight. So, and plus, I'm ready to talk about some racing. This is going to be the highlight of my day.
I'll tell you what, compared to where I was last Monday, this is definitely a step up. Last Monday, I left the house at 6 a.m. and at 10 p.m., I was at a conference still working, trying to gain some clients for my consulting business. So it was an exhausting week. So I am glad to be back, and I am glad to be talking racing. So let's jump into this Xfinity race here. It was Michigan Mayhem. And we didn't have too much mayhem in the Xfinity race, but we did have a couple of things. The thing that struck me about this was at the end of stage two, I think there were 7 laps to go in stage two, maybe 8, caution comes out. So the question you've got to ask yourself, if you're a leader, do you stay out and try to get the stage win and get stage points, or do you go for track position and you pit now and then have good track position to the start of stage 3? Most people went for the win and decided they would go for track position at the start of stage 3. 2 guys stay out, Noah Gragson, AJ Allmendinger. It worked for Gragson. He got the playoff point, got the stage win, but in my opinion, cost himself a win. He started 14th in stage 3. Stage 3 went green. Too much traffic to work through. He had the fastest car, but couldn't get up there to challenge the eventual race winner, Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs and Noah Gragson seem to have the 2 best cars all day. In my opinion, Gragson was a little bit better, but you could argue it either way. But Gibbs, who had the opposite strategy, gets his season-leading 5th win of the season. So those are my takeaways from the Xfinity race at Michigan. What do you got on this race, Aaron?
Pretty much same as you. I had to rewatch the entire race before the podcast today since I missed it due to that pesky job like you did. But really not a really whole lot happened. I mean, I guess the main story of it came down to AJ Allmendinger's, was it the water shirt, the cooling shirt that he had once again malfunctioned, and he was sweltering in that car for like the 3rd week in a row. Yeah. So, I don't know what's going on with AJ or with Call Racing this year, but if something like that is going wrong to protect your driver, something's going on with that team.
But, I have noticed Colleague has been fast, but they haven't been winning. They have certainly been, I think, a distant second to Junior Motorsports. And I really think that they are focused on that Cup series. When they started running Cup, it seemed like you could see the Xfinity series drop off in performance. And I can't blame them to put their focus on Cup, but I did not anticipate the Xfinity series dropping off like this. They have really been a distant second to JR Motorsports, maybe 3rd to Joe Gibbs Racing. And this was a team that had AJ Allmendinger winning the regular season championship last year. So I am definitely shocked that they are now at arguably a 3rd place team, 2nd place at best.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you try to split up operations like that. I mean, I don't want to say I called it, but I kind of hinted at the point of they're going to be too divided right now. They're trying to make a push for the Xfinity series, and it looks like I mean, Owner's not doing horribly. I mean, he's still technically the points leader over Ty Gibbs, but in terms of wins, yeah, it's just not there.
Yeah.
It's just
one of the things that surprises me is seeing Ty Gibbs as leading the Xfinity series with 5 wins, because Junior Motorsports has had the dominant team, but they have spread their wins out amongst all their drivers. JGR seems to have all of them with Ty Gibbs.
I mean, Ty Gibbs is arguably the best driver in the Joe Gibbs camp. I think it goes without question. I mean, it pretty much
in the Xfinity series, no doubt.
Yeah, Brennan Jones, he's a solid driver for what he is, but he's no Ty Gibbs. But it seems like, again, Junior Motorsports, Noah Gragson, Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry, all raw talents, all has great potential and futures in NASCAR. And so I kind of see why the wins are so spread out.
Yep, absolutely. Let's talk about the Cup race at Michigan. Now, the Cup race, we had some excitement there. Okay, going into the weekend, the Toyotas looked really dominant. You had between the 23XI and the JGR guys, they looked fast in practice. They looked fast in qualifying. Bubba Wallace, he grabs 23XI's first pole, and we're looking good if you're a Toyota fan right up until the first caution. So the caution was, I think, halfway through stage one, and this was a big storyline because you had about 10 cars stay out that were at the back of the field. Everybody else pitted. One of the cars that stayed out, J.J. Yaley from Rick Ware Racing. Okay, and I'm sorry, Rick Ware Racing, they're the last of the 10 cars that stayed out. Did you really think you're going to be able to hold that track position for 23 laps? What were you really thinking? What was your play here? Okay, that you're going to hang on for a 30th place finish in stage one instead of 35th? Is that what you're trying to do? And predictably, he loses control of the car. The car's ill handling, and he takes out a bunch of good cars, including Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch, who probably had one of the two fastest cars of the day. So if you're a Toyota fan, Kyle Busch, fast car, but he is in the garage very early. But Toyota Camp still shows lots of speed, taking two of the top three spots in the race and swept the first two stages. So the Toyotas were showing lots of speed this weekend, but they either got some of the Gibbs cars either got taken out or took themselves out. Kyle Busch, we talked about taking out early. Denny Hamlin, final pit stop of the day, and he's got a pit road penalty. So he's taken out of contention, not enough time to make it up. Kevin Harvick, the closer. I rewatched the race today. Now, I fast forwarded through a bunch of it, and it's like, I know Kevin Harvick wins, but the whole race, I'm like, where is he? What's he doing? And he's just hanging out. He's 10th, he's 5th, he's 4th, he's 6th, and then he's the closer. All of a sudden, final pit stop, here we go. He's restarting first, and he absolutely drives away from it. Bubba Wallace brings it home second place. Bubba's been doing really good. So Toyotas did have speed, but man, you talk about Kevin Harvick with a clutch win. That was a clutch win. So what do you got on this? What do you think of all this that went on at Michigan?
I mean, folks that are new to NASCAR, there is a reason why Kevin Harvick is nicknamed the closer. He's not usually one to dominate the race, and if he is going to dominate, he's probably going to win. He likes to make his move at the last possible moment, at the last possible lap. Case in point, 2007 Daytona 500. Led only about maybe 1/98th of a lap and won. And so that's why Kevin Harvick is called the closer. But this is a clutch win because last few years he hasn't been doing that great. And so this win, I think, I think it's a feel-good moment for Kevin Harvick. It necessarily boosted morale. It boosted the morale of Storehouse Racing, who has been on a very big slide the last few weeks. One can make a point that ever since Bristol Dirt, they've been kind of held back. So this is a needed win for Harvick, who could not get in on points in any scenario. He needed that win. But yeah, I was kind of like you, Tom. I mean, it seems like I was watching the race back. I was looking for Kevin Harvick to kind of see where he was on the leaderboard, and yeah, he was kind of hanging out, in the back of the top 10 for most of the race. I turned away to do something, and I turned back. All of a sudden, he's in the lead. Like, what the hell? How? So it's like, how in the hell did he get up there? But that's why they call him the closer.
Yeah.
That's why.
Breaking a 65 race winless streak. Let's put this in perspective. A NASCAR season is 36 races. He was coming up on 2 years without a win, and wins, and it is win as your only hope of getting in the playoffs. Huge win. Now, Michigan is probably statistically his best track. I think that's his 5th or 6th win at Michigan. So you can look back on it in retrospect and say, yeah, we should have picked Harvick because Michigan's his best track. But nobody thought, based on how his season was going, where he qualified, where he practiced, there was no indication that this was coming out of Michigan today. So yeah, amazing win for Harvick, and that last restart could not have played the script any better. He gets a push, I think, from Kyle Larson to get into the lead. Then you get Larson, Logano, and Bubba Wallace all fighting for second place while they're trying to figure out who's running second. Harvick is like, I'll see you later. By the time they sorted out to have a clear second place car, he's like 2 seconds into the lead with clean air, and he said, see ya. You guys can talk to me after I do my victory lane interviews.
Yeah, it just seems like with this new car, the clean air is king. We saw it in Texas. We saw it at Auto Club. We saw it, at Martinsville. We saw it nearly everywhere we went. Clean air is now king. Doesn't matter if you have fresh tires, doesn't matter if you have old tires, doesn't matter if you have full tank of gas, little tank of gas. Clean air is your best friend with these cars.
We even saw it at Charlotte when you have 2 tires and everybody else has 4. That was what at the All-Star race, that was Ryan Blaney's secret. Get out in clean air, and I don't care how old the tires are.
Yep. Yeah, again, it seems like with these tires, there's not a lot of fall off with these new tires. And so teams are able to take advantage of that.
Okay, so help me out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I need some of your fingers. What do we got? 15 winners now?
15, yeah.
15, yeah. 15 winners. I don't even have enough hands for that. So this whole idea that you're not going to get in on points is looking more and more likely because we got 15 winners and 3 races to the playoffs. So, but we'll be talking more about the playoff scenarios coming up. Let's get into the news. So, Aaron, what do you got as far as news stories here?
All right. So first news story of the day with Anchorman Aaron this time, since Zach is out. All right. First story of the day. Mario Andretti to make his NASCAR debut at the Charlotte Roval in October. Andretti, 35-year-old, grandson of motorsports icon Mario Andretti, is set to make his first NASCAR appearance in October in Charlotte Roval. He'll be driving in the Big Machine Racing number 48 Camaro, which has been driven by the likes of Austin Dillon, Ty Dillon, Tyler Reddick, and Kaz Grala. Some big names in the sport besides Cosrella. But this is a good seat for for someone making their first NASCAR start, and especially at a road course. So, Tom, what do you think of this? Yeah.
I think this is another example of Tony Stewart's SRX series opening up opportunities for people. Marco Andretti really showed he can wheel a car there. Was he the champion this year? Outdoed Ryan Newman for the season championship. I know that was all on oval tracks, a mixture of dirt and pavement, but it is giving guys a chance to showcase their talent. So we've seen him get this opportunity. I think Ernie Francis is looking at things with Team Penske in a lower IndyCar type series. Tony Kanaan won, and now part of the deal was the SRX series. I can't remember the guy's name who is the president. His name's escaping me anyway. He said, Tony, you win a race, I'll help you get a ride at Daytona next year. So he's making calls trying to get Tony Kanaan a seat in the Daytona 500. I love that series. I love the racing, and I love that it is raising the profile of some of these drivers, and that it's now getting Marco Andretti, or at least I think it played a role in getting Marco Andretti a chance to go to the Roval. But you put a guy named Andretti on a road course, man, you never know what's going to happen. You never know.
You never know. All right, so these next two are I'm kind of going to package together because I think we're going to say a lot about the same things for these two news stories. First one, I guess part one is that Joe Gibbs Racing announces that AutoZoners Insurance, the main sponsor, or I guess I'm the primary sponsor for Martin Truex Jr. We'll be staying with Martin Truex Jr. for next year. And so I guess that will pretty much confirm that he's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I guess another news story, Junior Motorsports will announce that Sam Mayer will come back to the number 1 Xfinity ride in 2023. Tom, what is your takes on these two parts of news?
This is the non-silly part of silly season. This is the status quo is the status quo. It's a slow news week when your number 2 or 3 story is that nothing is changing for next year. So yeah, kind of a slow news week, and it's just the status quo is changing, is staying the status quo. I think that's a good move by both organizations to lock up auto owners' insurance and to lock up Sam Mayer. So I think good moves on both parts. But yeah, status quo is status quo.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised the same Mayer came back. Just looking at his Xfinity stats real quick, nothing really jumps out at you. I mean, 0 out of 39 wins at least this year. 0 wins, 9 top 5 finishes, 17 top 10 finishes, which honestly that stat's not horrible. Average finish 17.5, average start 14.4, 107 laps led, which is not horrible. I mean, he's an okay driver, but he's not exactly a driver that you want long term. And so I'm a little bit surprised the same Mayer came back, but then again, I mean, who is going to fill that seat? That'll be any better? I guess the big question.
True.
So I'm guessing that's why they brought him back. But
it's true. Okay, Sam Mayer, if I am not mistaken, wasn't it last year he was in the playoffs driving for Junior Motorsports and essentially got eliminated by the playoffs because he missed 2 or 3 races with, was it a foot injury? I'm not sure. I'd have to go look it up.
So, yeah.
But, I mean, he had a decent seeding in the playoffs last year, but then I think got eliminated just because he couldn't make any of the races because he was injured. Or not any, but enough in one round that he got basically eliminated.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully he'll find something before the end of the season, but right now the stats are not adding up.
I will say this, okay? There are certain times when a decision is made and the person making the decision has such a high level of credibility that you just kind of say, yeah, that's probably a good decision because if they made it, I'll buy it. And right now, with his 5 Xfinity championships as an owner, if Dale Jr. said, I want this guy driving my car, I'm saying, okay, he must be good. Dale Jr.'s won 5 championships as an owner. He knows something about selecting drivers. So if he says he wants Sam Mayer back next year, that's like the good housekeeping seal of approval to me.
I guess we put it that way. I mean, who might argue? All right, and also, I guess, all right, third news story of the night, Chastain, also known as the younger brother of Cup Series driver Ross Chastain, has entered in the Nice number 44 truck this week. Chastain has only entered 2 other Truck Series races in his career. Started 31st, and finished about where he started. So far, not a good resume to start off with for Chastain, but I don't know. Tom, what's your opinion on this?
I got to be honest, okay? If his last name wasn't Chastain, would we know he was at the track? Would Probably we care? Not. Would it even be a news story?
No.
Who is he driving for? What team? Do we even know that?
Motorsports.
Oh, so he is taking over for Chris Wright.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Nice is kind of, you got Carson Hocevar, who is doing phenomenally well, and then everybody else at Nice is not doing anything. So it's kind of hard to put together what the deal is. Is the other drivers that bad? Is Carson Hocevar that good? I don't know, but I got to be honest. If his last name wasn't Chastain, this is probably not a story. We probably don't even know that he's at the track.
I would have to agree. I mean, a pedigree of only 2 races, didn't really do much of anything besides just kind of be there. So, no. I mean, good luck to him, but that's all I can say. But another seat being filled for at least this week. Mike Rockefeller will drive the number 77 Nations Guard Chevrolet Camaro at Watkins Glen. Let's see. I had a thing for him right here. I completely forgot about it. Apparently, he is, I believe, an IndyCar. Or no, excuse me. Yes, he is a Le Mans winner. I just have to pull it up, and I completely forgot about it. Oh, I had it right here. Two-time 24-hour of Le Mans winner. Apparently, he kind of looked at NASCAR for a while, decided that this was finally time to go into the sport. So Tom, what do you think?
This is another example to me of NASCAR is cool, okay? We're not the rednecks from the Southeast anymore. We're the cool kids now. It's awesome. We got Raikkonen from F1 wanting to drive at Watkins Glen. We've got a Le Mans winner in Rockefeller wanting to drive at Watkins Glen. We've got an Andretti driving at the Roval, and Andretti driving a car with fenders, okay? That's a big deal. This is just another example to me is we're cool right now. We're hot. Everybody wants to drive one of these beasts. So
we're the popular kid, awesome. Finally.
Yeah, it's not we're sitting at the cool kids table. We're at the head of the cool kids table. So I love it. I think it's
great. Back up the ranks, baby.
Different genres want to get into NASCAR. So, yeah.
All right. And for the news story of the week, as some of you may have seen, Tony Stewart has released some news via Twitter yesterday saying that there is a big announcement coming. That there is a huge announcement coming in that dropped today. And drum roll, please. The newest news is that he is selling NFTs. That's it. That's the news.
Okay, wait. No. Back up. Look at this again. Okay, he said big announcement, and the teaser had his 14 Chevrolet from when he won his championship. So I'm thinking a championship, big announcement, champion, maybe he's signing Kyle Busch. Or he's showing the Chevrolet prominently in the picture. He's switching manufacturers and going back to Chevy. You sure there's not some other announcement? This was the big announcement?
This was the big announcement, yes.
Okay. Okay, let's put that at the top of overhyped stories. I don't even know what an NFT is, but I don't think it qualifies as a big announcement.
No.
Not in the context of where we are in silly season and the rumors swirling around. I don't think this qualifies as a big announcement. Tony, you need to revisit with your press people what big means. Maybe get him a dictionary or something.
What sucks is that he even had SRX involved in on it. So I'm thinking, oh man, this is going to be a huge announcement, probably a manufacturer coming in to really kind of say, hey, we're still mad at Ford for not letting us go get Kyle Larson. So we're saying goodbye, Ford. We're going to Chevy like we should have 2 years ago. And we're getting NFTs instead. I see NFTs as basically just online baseball cards is what they are.
I don't know what it is, but I'm going to say that these NFT things, it's going to be like the Chia Pet. Okay, you may buy one, but you'll never admit to your friends that you own one.
Yep. I mean,
are you even old enough to remember Chia Pets, Aaron?
Yes, I still remember the theme song. Chia.
Yeah, you may have owned one, but you would never admit it to any of your friends. I think that's what this NFT thing's going to be.
Yeah, and I was so looking forward to this news because I knew when this podcast started, this is going to be the big headline. This is going to be the thing that we're talking about for maybe like 30 minutes straight, kind of like dissecting, analyzing, going no stone left unturned with this news story, and this is what we get. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. This is like Charlie Brown running to kick the football and Lucy pulling it out from under at the last minute.
Yes, this is that news story.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently they're going to be sending them in waves too, because why not?
Oh. Well, Waves. Now that makes it different. Now it's a big story. Waves.
Yeah, the first part collection will debut August 23rd and include 30 NFTs available for purchase, with the collectibles showing animations of Stewart's various cars in NASCAR, IndyCar, SRX, and grassroots racing. Purchasers also will be sent a real-life autographed fire suit. Okay, now I'm kind of interested. If the series sells out, one of the 30 buyers will be sent a real-life 2011 edition NASCAR show car. Okay. How does one buy an NFT?
I'm guessing with a lot of money.
Probably.
Yeah.
See, second wave, 500 one of one NFTs that show select cars, Stewart's Drove, plus imaginary paint schemes. Orange Comet, which is the business that Stewart is going through, said that those who buy the second edition will have a 20% chance to win a 30-minute Zoom call with Stewart.
Whoa.
And that those who purchase more than one NFT will be sent an autographed hat. Honestly, I'll just take the Zoom call. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least they have some really good prices to go along with them, but God, still disappointing.
Yeah.
And on the disappointing note, that is the news.
Okay.
Not really a whole lot.
All right. Let's get into the who's hot, who's not. So, since it's just the two of us, I will let you go first with who you got for who's hot and who's not, Aaron.
All right. So, for my who's hot this week, I got to go with Martin Truex Jr. That dude has been on a tear the last 6 races. A top 5, 3 top 10s, 10.3 average finish. I mean, he's smelling the blood in the water, the writing on the wall. He's got to get a win. He's got to do better. He's got to do it now, especially with Kevin Harvick just now basically may be securing a spot in the playoffs. He has got to get a win, and it's got to be next week at Richmond or Daytona or Watkins Glen. Hey, crazy things have happened this year. But for my who's not, I got to go with Mr. Candyman, Kyle Busch. The last 6 races, 0 top 10s, 0 top 5s, only 3 top 20s, and 24.0 average finish the last 6 races. That is not Kyle Busch numbers. Granted, he has been fast in those 6 weeks. He has been fast. But like he said in his after crash interview, he just can't buy a break.
Yeah, those finishes are not indicative of the speed that he has had on the track, but yeah, it is anything that can go wrong will go wrong for Kyle Busch right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Murphy's Law has got him by the hand.
Absolutely.
Tom, you're up on the batter's box.
So I am going to go a little bit different direction here. For my who's hot, I'm going to say Ty Gibbs, okay? And if you watch this show, you know I am not a Ty Gibbs fan at all, but I got to give the kid credit. He wins at Michigan, okay? So series leading 5th win in the Xfinity Series. Then filling in for Kurt Busch on Sunday in the Cup Series. He brings it home 10th place, actually got up front and led a few laps for a while, and got that 10th place finish while overcoming a pit road penalty in stage 3. So very impressed with what Mr. Gibbs has done behind the wheel of the Cup car this week with a 10th place finish to back up his win in the Xfinity Series. So Ty Gibbs is my who is hot. Now, I'm not going to go who's not, okay? I'm going to go from who's hot to who's hotter, okay? And who's hotter than Ty Gibbs? Aaron and I. We are who's hotter than Ty Gibbs. Here's why we are hotter than Ty Gibbs. In the last week, Aaron became the Season 5 champion of the RP Racing Series on NASCAR Heat 5. So he is a champion, not just a race winner, but a series champion. And in the fantasy league we are in on the NASCAR app, the last 3 races, the winners have been Pocono, Aaron Simmons, Indy Road Course, Tom Willoughby, and Michigan, Tom Willoughby, and the overall series points leader now, Tom Willoughby. So I'm saying, who's hotter than Ty Gibbs? It's us. It's us. We're hotter than Ty Gibbs. I don't even have a who's not. So here, hold on. That's hot. That's hot, baby.
And I think my girlfriend would agree, hopefully. All right, so, man, we are, wow, it's a bad news week when we're 30 minutes in and we just got to green flag, red flag.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think we've ever gotten here this fast.
Not even close. So, all right, this is your segment. Take it away. And for our viewers, chime in. Give us a comment. What do you think, green flag or red flag? And I am seeing Miss Becca with some applause there for the Who's Hot.
Thank you, honey. Thank you, honey buns. All right. As I will get the new banner up here. There we go. All right. So, green flag, red flag, number 1 of the night. With Kevin Harvick securing a spot into the playoffs. Who now gets into the playoffs? Red flag for Mr. Ryan Blaney, or green flag for Martin Truex Jr., or yellow flag for somebody else. I mean, 2022 has proved to be a very let's just roll the dice, see what happens kind of year. Tom, okay. What do you think?
Okay. I'm reading the banner here that says with Judge Aaron. Okay. Judge Aaron, can I call for a recess and not answer this question until after the Richmond race?
No.
Oh, man. Okay. Let me tell you, here's how this plays out. Okay. This Richmond race, this is Martin Truex Jr.'s cutoff race. Okay. He's not that great at road courses anymore. He hadn't been, at least so far this year. He's not a great plate racer. Michigan is his best track. Last 5 races at Michigan, I think he's got 2 wins and nothing outside the top 5. This is Truex's cutoff race, okay? So you could make a strong case that it's Martin Truex Jr., okay? You could also make the case that Bubba Wallace is on an absolute tear. I think he's got 4 straight top 10 finishes. And typically, this is how a driver gets a win. They start running up front. You start seeing them consistently up there in the top 5 and having good runs, and then they break through with a win. So you can make the case that it is yellow flag and it is Bubba Wallace, because he looks like he is just knocking on that door of visiting victory lane. But it's not going to be either of those. It's not going to be the yellow flag. It's going to be the yellow car of Ryan Blaney. Ryan has been Mr. Consistency this year. I think Penske's gotten a little bit off their game the last couple of races, but I just think that Truex is probably not going to get it done in Richmond. He's probably actually going to lose to a teammate. I think we're going to see one of the traditional road course warriors win at Watkins Glen. And if it comes down to Daytona, the best restrictor plate racer of the group here, in my opinion, is Ryan Blaney. So I am saying it is red flag. Ryan Blaney's the one that gets in there. But you could make an argument for any one of them. But I'll tell you what, after this weekend, Truex is either in or he's not. This is his cutoff race this weekend.
And I will have to agree. I think this week has to be Truex. If it's not Truex, I think he might be done, because again, Gibbs has not shown any super speedway speed. The road course program is not where it was. That's all Hendrick, and that's all Chevrolet. So with that said, I think, again, I said this before, I'm not seeing anybody that could potentially pose a threat in the three consecutive weeks besides Brian Blaney, because he seems to be good at just damn near everywhere. And so I want to go with Blaney, but if he would have gotten a win, I think he would have gotten a win by now. So I don't know. I think more or less it's going to be Truex, I think, because he's going to be on desperation mode at Richmond, which means he is going to be making some risky moves. He's going to be getting people out of the way. He's got to be aggressive. He can't just be conservative like he usually is. He's got to be aggressive at Richmond. And so I'm going to say Truex will get in. Blaney will have to pull a win out of his butt somewhere, possibly Daytona.
Wow, that would make it interesting. I'd give us 17 winners.
17 winners, which means someone's going to get dropped with a win.
Yeah.
Which could bust this whole playoff system wide open, and we'll explain that 16 car cutoff to 20 drivers. Because why not? Because that's NASCAR nowadays. But I think it's going to be Truex getting that last spot because he'll be in desperation mode.
I think we will know by next week this time.
We will. Plus, Truex seems to have a habit of getting himself out of tough obstacles. We've seen it basically his entire career. It's just one big hurdle that he's had to jump through. And so Richmond should be no different. With Richmond in mind, this is going to be one of my favorite questions for the week. Green flag, red flag, number 2 of the night. Will we see another controversial Richmond race just like we saw in 2013? Now, go back about 9 years ago when ironically, Truex needed a miracle to get into the chase. His teammate, Clint Bowyer, already secured and locked himself a spot in. And Richmond was the cutoff race that year. And Clint Bowyer, to try and aid his teammate, Martin Truex Jr., to get into the playoffs, intentionally spun himself out to bring out a caution to hopefully give Truex a better shot into the race. And it was snuffed out very quickly by NASCAR that it was intentional. And ultimately, it cost Truex Jr. his sponsorship, and ultimately cost him his seat at Michael Waltrip Racing, which folded not long after that. So, at Richmond, Martin Truex Jr. needs a miracle to get in. His teammates are basically already locked into the playoffs. Will we see the same shenanigans happen again? Tom, your take.
I'm saying red flag, and simply because it's not a cutoff race. We got 2 more races. You want to see shenanigans? Wait till we get to Daytona. Yeah, it's hard to tell what people will do when we get to Daytona, but because it's not a playoff or a cutoff race and you've got 2 more coming up, we aren't going to see anything that crazy. I just don't see it happening. And plus, I got to believe that now, how do I say this? I'm not saying nobody would do the same things they did back then, but I'm saying they figured out how NASCAR catches you, and they do a better job of not getting caught doing it. So I am saying, no, this will not be like 2013, at least not at Richmond.
Okay. I mean, we just got through talking about how Truex, his best shot to get in was Richmond. And so I got to go green flag here. I think there will be shenanigans, but I don't think they're going to be the same level as 2013, considering this is not a cutoff race. It is a cutoff race for Truex, but it is not a cutoff race for anybody else in the field. But, I mean, especially on the heels of Kevin Harvick being the 15th member of the Winners Club this year, a number which has not been seen in NASCAR ever, at least in the modern day NASCAR, has not been seen ever. Drivers are going to be desperate to get a win and get it soon. And so I think Gibbs might have to play some team orders at Richmond to try and get Truex in at least. Or at least make it, very subtle.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see.
So, Ohio State, Madden, if you are still here, we are finally getting to the question of the U.S. earlier in the show. Green flag, red flag, number 3 of the night. NASCAR made the right call by not throwing a caution with 4 to go when Daniel Suarez had a tire go down. Green flag or red flag? Tom, what do you think?
Did they make the right call? Okay. I'm going to say green flag. They didn't make the right call. Did they make the consistent call? Absolutely not. You just got to throw in the tape of the All-Star race of Charlotte to see an inconsistent call in a similar situation. You had a car at Charlotte during the All-Star, not Charlotte, Texas during the All-Star race that was behind the entire pack and behind the leader, and they threw a caution for it just because they were trying to manufacture drama. Didn't need to throw it then. didn't need to throw it for Suarez. He was not putting debris down. They said the track was clear. He was able to get himself to a position where he could get on pit road off the racing surface. And quite honestly, I don't think anybody wanted to see a caution. I think about everybody wanted to see this thing play out, and let's see who the fastest car is. Now, I know if you were a Bubba Wallace fan, you desperately wanted to see a caution there, but I'm going to say they did make the right call, but it was not a consistent call because we have seen other examples where in the same scenario, they would have thrown a yellow flag. I do want to say that anybody who buys into conspiracy theories says, oh, if that was Chase Elliott, they would have thrown a caution. They would have made sure that as a second place car, he would have been able to catch up. Okay, there was no favoritism showed towards Bubba here, okay? As much as Bubba has become a driver that is probably mentioned more than any other just in general, they did not show him any favoritism by throwing the yellow flag there. And I do think it was the right call. It wasn't the consistent call, but it's the right call. So that's all I have to say.
Okay. Yeah, I will also have to agree with there. It was the right call. Daniel was able. If Daniel were to spin out and not be able to immediately get back going again, I think NASCAR should have thrown the caution. But he was able to limp the car all the way around the track and get on pit road. So I think NASCAR did throw the right call. Now, are they consistent about it? Hell no, they're not. NASCAR inconsistency is like peas and carrot. It's like apples and oranges. They don't go together at all.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm also gonna say green flag. They made the right call by not throwing it. It imposed any threat. So I call it. And plus, Harvick was in the lead in the midst of in the midst of a winless streak. Everyone was going to be talking about it for a while, like we are now. So why throw it?
Well, keep in mind, though, you had Bubba Wallace in second. So you had big stories either way. You had one of NASCAR's most famous drivers who maybe hasn't lived up to the hype, but there's a reason that he brings all that sponsorship in because everybody knows who Bubba Wallace is. He is running second. NASCAR had a chance to try and manufacture a win for him by throwing the caution there. They also had a chance to go with the feel-good story of Harvick breaking the winless streak by not throwing the caution. So if you're a conspiracy theorist, you can have a conspiracy on either side. You can go with they favored Harvick because they wanted him to break his streak, or you could say if they threw it that they favored Bubba because they wanted him to get a win. If you're a conspiracy theorist, this is it. You got to have your cake and eat it too, because no matter which way they go, there's a theory to be had.
There really is, but will the theory be proven? Never. They will die with that theory.
Yeah.
All right, last one of the night. I can probably see where this is going for both of us. Green flag, red flag. Will you be buying any Turner Sports NFTs?
I don't even know what NFTs are. Okay, so no, I'm not going to be buying. I got to look it up to see what an NFT is before I buy it. But no, I'm not buying it. And despite all the other stuff, I still say this is the chia pet of the digital world. You may own one, but you'd never admit it to your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also going no. I mean, even for that shot of a show car from Turner Sports 2011 championship run and possibly a 30-minute Zoom call with Tony Stewart, I wouldn't know what to say to him, first off. So that's useless to me. So I'm gonna say no. And plus,
hey, you get that show car, you can park it in my garage, Aaron.
Also, I'll send it over to Fire Lucas's house and just see what he'll do, since he's a big Carl Edwards fan.
Okay.
Oh, he's probably gonna kill me for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are on to Richmond. The Richmond race predictions.
Okay. All right, you go first, Aaron. I'll give you the whole field to pick from. I won't take anybody yet, unless you want me to go first.
No, I'll go first. I actually put mine in the wrong spot. For my pick, I've got to go with Mr. Candyman himself, Kyle Busch. Even though Martin Truex Jr. has made that place his playground, Bush, 18, at the last 18 races there, a win, 7 top 5s, 15 top 10s, and of course a 7.7 average finish. He's one of the guys that could use a bit of luck, and he's always made Richmond also his playground. And so I'm going to go with Mr. Bush. For my dark horse pick, now I know if I were to pick Martin Truex Jr., that would be considered cheating, so I'm not going to go with Truex. I will, however, go with Brad Keselowski. Even though he's having a crappy year this year, Richmond always seems to kind of be where he gets a little bit of momentum going. Out of the 18 races there, 3 wins, 9 top 5s, 11 top 10s, 16 top 20, with 1,129 laps led, an average start of 8.4. Those numbers, you can't deny those numbers. Got to go with Brad here. Of course, as I always take my picks with a ton of salt because they always tend to jinx them.
Okay. We're kind of on the same page here. I think that it's going to be a Toyota that's winning, and I think it's going to be a Gibbs Toyota. When I look at it, you've got I'm looking at from 2019 to 2022, so that's the last 5 races. Your drivers with the best average finish among active drivers, because Clint Boyer is actually in there. 3 of the top 5
are
no,
Toyotas.
I'm sorry. No, 4 of the top 5 are Toyotas. Martin Truex, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano being the lone non-Toyota, Christopher Bell, and Kyle Busch. So this seems to be a Toyota track, and those guys finished 4th, 1st, 6th, and 9th if you're looking at the Toyotas. So all in the top 10 at the spring race. So I think it's going to be Denny Hamlin. I think Martin Truex Jr. leads a bunch of laps. I think he has a chance to win. But at the end, I think it's Denny Hamlin that grabs the victory there. I think so. I think Truex is going to lose out to a teammate. But my dark horse is a non-Toyota, Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon has finished no worse than 11th in the last 5 races at Richmond, including a 10th place in the spring race here this year with the new car. He's actually had a top 5, and he's had a 6th place as well. So he seems to get along with Richmond pretty well. So I'm going to say Austin Dillon is my dark horse.
All righty. So, honestly, I'm pretty sure these are like cut and dry picks for the first time ever.
There's nobody that's on the fence here. We're not on the fence with anybody.
No. Again, first time ever we've done that. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, now on to the white flag, where we each give kind of like our last minute comments about something. It can be anything we want. So, Tom, what do you think? What you got?
What do I think? I am just glad to be back. My parting comment is that I'm glad to be here. Had to do last week was rough. From Monday through Wednesday, it was left Monday morning at 6 a.m., worked every night until 10 o'clock, shaking hands, talking to people, passing out marketing material, business cards. It was exhausting. So my parting comment is I am just glad to be back here and talking racing. Hope we can have Zach back and we get all 3 of us together next week. But I am just glad to be back is my parting comment.
All right. And my parting comment is that after this podcast, I'm going straight to bed because I'm tired. My girlfriend, Rebecca, bless her heart. I know she didn't mean to do this. She's probably going to kill me for saying this. But I have a tough time getting up in the morning. I do. I'm a night owl. And so I tend to sleep in the mornings, which is not good for my work life. And so Rebecca took it upon herself. She volunteered for this. I did not ask her to give me a wake-up call in the mornings, which is very nice and very sweet, very generous. I'm sorry, Rebecca. Hey, it was an honest-to-God mistake. It was an honest-to-God mistake. I'm not blaming you. Okay. All right, you know what? I'll stop right there. Then I'll stop it. I'll stop it.
You have ended it at the perfect point, because at this point, Rebecca looks like the sweet, loving, caring girlfriend giving you the wake-up call, and that's all any of us know. We don't know the rest of the story. There's no Paul Harvey here. We don't know the rest of the story. So you cut that off at the perfect time.
On the phone, gents. On the phone. Don't take that. No, honey, don't. Okay, I'm sorry. I embarrassed her. I shouldn't have said it. But that's all for the podcast tonight.
We don't know any. We whatever the embarrassing part was, he didn't get to. All we know is that our viewers are saying, "Man, my girlfriend didn't give me a wake up call."
No. Okay, what she did, just so none of you get any bad thoughts, was that she called me as a wake up call on my day off. Like she called me on my phone at like 7 in the morning and say, hey man, hey babe, time to wake up and go to work. I'm like, honey, it's my day off. She goes, oh.
Oops. That's
all she did. To defend her, it was a simple mistake. It was a very simple mistake. We've all done it. So, honey, I forgive you. It's okay. So, it's okay. And so that will be my the ending comment.
Okay.
And look who just got here.
Mike. Hey, Mike. Show's over. Thanks for tuning in. We literally just made our final comments, our white flag comments.
Yeah.
We don't have Zach here to talk, so it was a short show.
Yeah, plus the news this week was just not that good, and honestly very disappointing. So
yeah.
Anyway, that will do it for tonight. Hope you all enjoyed the podcast. Hope you all will come back next week as we will kind of break down the events from Richmond. Hopefully there'll be chaos. I'm looking forward to the chaos after Richmond. And so I hope you all will join us, as hopefully we'll be a trio and not a duo next week. So hope you all have a good, pleasant night this morning. Or this morning, yeah. Oh, no. All right, time to end the podcast. Tom, say goodbye to the crowd.
See you, everybody.
See ya.